Hello everybody, it is Marissa, known here on YouTube and over on Instagram as the Crafty Heifer. We are filming on Monday, June the 8th. It is about 8 o'clock at night. So obviously I have no light from outside. So we're making do with some artificial light. You can see my ring light right there. So please bear with me. I'm gonna try not to turn my head that way, but we'll have to see how it goes, right? So basically, I am back this week to give you another floss tube. I needed a little bit of a break last week with everything happening and just, being full-time back at work. I was exhausted all last week. So I went ahead and took a break. I hadn't gotten a whole lot of stitching done anyway, so I didn't have a whole lot to tell you about. But this week, we have all the things. So let's get started. I'm going to use this as my Mania wrap-up. So the last week of Mania, I did not get my finish like I did all of the other weeks. So the first 4 weeks, 3 weeks, however you want to say it, I did finish like I was supposed to. I accomplished my goals. The last week I kind of fell off pace. I only made it about 12 and a half hours. And that's okay because I feel like I did a great job, especially as a new stitcher. Going in, I've only been stitching since January. Going in, meeting my goal for several weeks and even exceeding the goal for several weeks. I felt like I could kind of give myself a break, take a little bit of a step back that last week. Sometimes life happens. So I didn't quite meet my goal that last week, but that's okay. I still got a lot of work done. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to walk you through all of the whips that I have that I worked on during Mania, so you can see where they are now at the beginning of June compared to where they were at the beginning of May. And then we'll talk about our plans going forward. And then I've got lots and lots of haul for you guys today. So let's get started, all right? Okay, so the first week that I started doing Mania, I worked on this pattern. It is called the Lonestar Stitchers, and this is a Texas Retreat exclusive pattern. So this was a new start for me for Mania, and I have been working on it the last couple of days. I think I've put about 3 days worth of work into it this week, and so this is where I'm at on it. So last night I sat down, I finished off the flag. I got the word star in, which you're really having a hard time seeing. There we go. If I turn it, you can see it. So I had lone done, I got star and that star there done, and then I got some of this blue here put in. I am off on this border, but I found it coming back to this after stitching. I have found that it does seem to be a little bit easier to stitch on this, like the more experience that I have with stitching and things like that. I can see a big improvement from where I was at the beginning of May compared to where I am now, just stitching wise, like laying down the stitches. I did not have a problem laying down those white ones. It's not perfect, but this is a hobby. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I could tell this was much easier to work on this time around than it was the first time around. So I don't know that I'll ever be like a solely linen stitcher or anything like that, but I have enjoyed it. I am enjoying it. I'll put that back in the bag here in a little while. Anyway, so that is the Lonestar Stitchers pattern. So that was from a completely new start, a full week working on it, and then a couple of extra days. I don't feel like I've done too bad. I'm very satisfied with my progress on that particular pattern. So the second week, if I'm remembering correctly, I believed that I worked on the, I think I did linens and threads the second week. So it's the Linens and Threads 2020 Mystery Sal. I think it's called the Friends and Family Sal also. We're going to get to this. I'm not going to I don't forget. So you guys just bear with me. So this, I worked on it for 1 week during Mania. And this is where I'm at now. So as you can see, the first week, or when I started it, I had done these 3 elements here. Those were finished, and so I did this element these 2 little medallions, and I started on the plant pot. This one will probably come back out here in the next week or so. To give it some more work, I'd like to get at least this part finished. That'll finish off the month of February, and then I can start on another month. I think I'm going to go down here and start the next month down there, which I believe was, I think that's March down there, down at the bottom. But again, I'm happy with my progress. I did reach my goal when I worked on this, and I will continue working on it. That is a year-long SAL. I think I'm fairly confident I can get caught up on that one at some point. It probably won't be in the next month or two, but before the end of the SAL, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get caught up with it. So I'm really enjoying that one. That was one of the first ones that I really wanted to start. When I saw it, I knew I wanted to do it. And so that was the Linens and Threads 2020 Mystery Sampler. Now this is the CunningCross Stitch by Stuart Cunningham, Letters to Hogwarts. Sal, this was my 3rd week that I worked on this. So when I started on it, I had this owl and the 2 swirls done, and I had part of the ground here for the castle. So I did all of that in the week. This is what I'll be working on later on tonight. I forgot to tell you guys, the Linens and Threads is on an 18 count white Aida. This is an 18 count oatmeal Aida, and Lonestar Stitchers is on a 28 count linen that I purchased from a D-stash group. So I always forget those things. But yeah, so I was super happy with this. I'm still waiting on my glow-in-the-dark thread. My order from 123 Stitch has not arrived yet. So I am kind of impatiently waiting for it. Like, I really want it to be here, but I'm okay. I'm okay. Like, don't be a brat, right? So that was my next week's worth of work. So I'm going to be working on the other side of the castle. That one, I have a feeling that one's going to be a 2021 finish because I am so far behind on it. They've got 3 chapters already. I'm not even done with the top, much less anything else. It's going to be a while. So, okay. Now this one, I did not take out of the Q-snap, but I can. Give me just a moment. I'll break. Okay, so this was my 4th week, and this was another new start for Mania. And this is the Feels Like Home Sal. So as you can see, I've gotten the bird and the branch done, even though mine's kind of a, well, it's unique. Let's put it that way because I messed up on my counting. And the house is almost finished. I need to finish this gable up here and then fill in the windows and the door. And then the house will be finished. So this one will come back out in the rotation. I've really enjoyed working on this. That house though, y'all, ooh, that was testing my patience. It took forever to get that house done. And it's still not done yet, if you know what I mean. So I will have to have some more time working on that one, but I think I can finish that. I thought I had to be done with it in June. I actually don't need to be done with it until July because I'm giving it as a present, and that housewarming party is in July rather than June like I thought. So I'm sure that that will be getting quite a bit of work in the next month so that I can go ahead and get it finished. I don't think, and I say that, I don't think anything else, any of the other elements should take quite as much time as that house did, but maybe the picket fence, it'll just depend. I'm not going to put this off because I don't want to be rushing at the last minute to try to make the deadline so then I can get it finished. So this will probably get worked on a little bit more than anything else that I have. So those are my 4 whips that I have. Now, I said at the beginning, those of you that have watched back from Flosstube number 1, I was like, I don't know how people have so many whips and da-da-da-da. Yeah, so probably shouldn't have said all of that because here I am 4 whips in, and there will probably be a new start before too long. So I need to get started on Star Spangled Banner. So that'll be my next new start. So let's talk about some plans going forward for the month of June at least. I want to put my hands on each of these whips that I already have at least once a week, okay? Now, because I only have 4, that leaves me a couple of extra days. So here's the plan going forward. We're going to be doing Magical Mondays, which is where I will work on the letters from Hogwarts. We're going to do Texas Tuesdays, which is where I work on my Lonestar Stitchers pattern. Whip Wednesdays. So Wednesdays kind of free choice. Whatever I feel like working on Wednesdays, that's what I'm going to work on that day. So if I'm really feeling Lonestar Stitchers, then I'm going to work on it, or, you know, whatever I just really, what is the saying? Stitch what you want when you want. That's going to be my Wednesday. So I guess Wednesdays, it should be Siwa Wednesdays. Sweewa. Stitch what you want when you want. Thursdays are going to be my free days. So Thursdays, I like to read. I'm going to leave that open to do other things. If I feel like doing other things, I might want to watch TV or just do something not stitching. So I'm going to leave at least one day of the week open so that if I don't feel like stitching that night, I don't have to. And I don't get further behind on anything else. It'll be Feels Like Home Fridays, Sal Saturdays, which is where I'm going to work on my linen and thread Sal, and then Spangled Sundays. So I'm going to be starting Star Spangled Banner, which I do have that one kitted up. So one of the things I did do this past week, is I had made a trip to Dollar Tree, and I found these little tags there. And so I went ahead, I went through my stash of fabric, I went through the patterns that I have purchased, and I did some organizing on a Zoom chat with my Stiots group. So I've got the fabric in here for ones, or the patterns. So this is a 28 count linen that I had purchased, and this linen I purchased to be able to do Joy, which you'll see here in just a moment. This is the blue title, the Picture This Plus title that I got to do Snow Village, which you'll see here in a moment. This has the patterns for Glitter Village in there. So I'm waiting on my fabric for that. This is that bee that I showed you guys back when, and it's already got the fabric in there. That's a Heart and Hand pattern. And then this is for Snow Sampler, which I got today at work and proceeded to accidentally leave at work. And this is for another pattern, or this is for Star Spangled Banner. So this will be the pattern and the fabric for that. So I just did a little bit of organizing to kind of see where I was at with the things that I had purchased, because I have been purchasing like a mad woman. And I'm still being particular about what I'm purchasing. I'm only purchasing things that I really want to stitch, but I have bought a lot, and I've bought a lot of fabric, and I've bought a lot of patterns. And so I wanted to make sure that as I was doing this, I was matching patterns and fabrics as I went, so that I knew what I had and what I needed to get. So one of the things we went and did this weekend is I actually got to leave my house and go out into the country. One of my best friends from college, her parents live over kind of on the other side of town. It's about an hour and a half away from me, and she invited me out, and we did some fabric dyeing. So I wanted to try this. I think every new creator, stitcher, whatever, probably at some point wants to try dyeing some fabric, right? So we did a session of shaving cream dyeing. That's what it's called. Now this one, I say we did shaving cream dyeing. I did not shaving cream dye this one. I did an immersion dye on this one. Now this is a piece of the oatmeal Ada that I used for Hogwarts. This is the bottom part of it that I cut off to make it the right size. And I just immersed this in a gray black bath, and I love it. Like, I am loving this. In person, it's almost like a blue jean, like a gray blue jean color. On the camera, it's coming out much more gray. You can see it's got a little bit of modeling to it. If I hold it like that, you can kind of see the lighter spots. And these have not been ironed because, well, I don't own an iron. I have to go buy one. So, but for now, I'm loving this. Now, I did say that I kind of wish that I was hoping that the fabric would get a little bit softer, and as you can see, it's still pretty stiff. Now, that may change once it gets ironed. It may loosen up a little bit, and this Oatmeal Aida could just be very stiff fabric. But I'm super happy with the color. I'm sure that I can find something to stitch on this. So, and these are in tinfoil for travel purposes. So I do hope you'll forgive me for the professionalism lack thereof. So the next one that I wanted to try is I wanted to do a very light gray, mottled gray sky color. Yeah, you can see it better from back here. So you can see this is just a very light gray. Splotches in there. I wanted something that wasn't white, but that I could do some Halloween type things on. Let me try one thing. That's a little bit better. Turn down the intensity of the lamp a little bit. So yeah, so I love the way this one turned out. It's not a very big piece, as you can see, but I do love this. This is exactly what I wanted. You can kind of see all the grays in it there. And again, in person, it's a little bit darker than what you're seeing on the camera, but it is exactly what I wanted. So, and then the third piece, my friend got creative with, and I wanted a purple and green that I could do a Halloween pattern on. So I got a purple and green that I could do a Halloween pattern on. You can see this side is much more intense. You can actually see the marbling that we put into it on this side. And I really like the way this came out because I can still use purple and green in the pattern, even though we used it, because this one did come out very light. So what I did notice about the shaving cream is that you didn't get a really saturated color. Now, we used the liquid dyes, the RIT liquid dyes with these. I think maybe if I used the powdered, I'd get a more saturated color. So that's one of those things that you learn as you go. And we'll try it differently the next time around, and hopefully we'll find, you know, something that works. I really want to be able to dye my own fabrics when I want to dye my own fabrics. I hope that makes sense. I don't want to just rely on being able to buy them, because like right now, everything's in shortage. Even just white Aida is in shortage. So, you know, if I want a certain color, or, you know, everybody has this way that it looks in your head. And so I want to be able to create that if I need to, if that makes sense. I do love the fabric that is dyed for me sometimes, though. I've got plenty of it. Okay, so after all of that, I found one thing. So I found my very, very first cross stitch ever. So I remember me guys, let me try that again. Remember me telling you guys how a couple years ago I tried out cross stitching and decided it wasn't for me, and I went to diamond painting. And I told you I had done a cross stitch, a Doctor Who cross stitch that I found I think I found it on Pinterest, you guys. So if I'm not supposed to be showing this, I apologize, but from everything I can tell, it's a free pattern. I know better than to go on Pinterest now to get patterns, if that makes everybody happy. But I did find it, and this is what it looks like. I don't know if you guys can see right there in the middle of the TARDIS. It's a big old knot of a mess. Most of the rest of it is actually pretty good. It's better than I remember it being. But that part of the TARDIS is not good. It's not good, you guys. But I went ahead. I had this frame that my sister had given me a few years ago, and I went ahead and put it in there. It's a 4x4, and I thought it fit perfect. So it's my very first cross stitch. For all of its faults and flaws, it is what it is. It's the first effort, right? You can only get better as you go. So I have that one. And then I also have one that I worked on for the Sassy Craft Along in the diamond painting community. And I found this wooden frame. It was an unfinished wooden frame at Dollar Tree. And I mixed the paint to be more of that emerald color that you're seeing. and it says Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. And those of you that know the military alphabet will know what that stands for. That's WTF. What the frig, whatever else you want to say. But I absolutely loved this cross stitch, and it didn't take me very long at all. And it fit perfectly in this frame from Dollar Tree. So I just finished it myself. It's wrapped around a piece of foam core board with some batting, and then it is double-sided mounting taped to the frame. So there we go. That's my second finish. So this will go on the wall, so you guys will probably be seeing this from now on in all of my videos. So now let's get to the fun stuff, because I've got haul. Lots of haul. So the first thing you've kind of already seen is I got a project bag, an actual project bag. This was made for me, or this was made by a woman named Gina, and I found her in one of the stash groups. I'm pretty sure it was Stash Unload only, or Cross Stitch only. She had made one for someone else, and I saw it afterwards and asked her if she had another one, and she said that she would go get some more fabric and make it, and she did. And she did it in like a week, you guys. Like, it was amazing. I was not expecting it that quickly. So this is what it looks like. I think it's absolutely adorable. I absolutely love it. The back is the same as the front. The inside is this really pretty red batik type of fabric. I believe that it's 14 by 14. So you can kind of see that's what the inside looks like. So I put Feels Like Home in this bag at the moment. But yeah, love it. I will probably be getting some more of these, or I might even try my hand at making a few. But for right now, I'm absolutely loving this. So Miss Gina, thank you if you watch this. I do appreciate the extra effort that you went to get that. So that was my big thing. Now, let me just reach down here and get the basket. Excuse me. Okay, so the next couple of things that I got were also purchased. Now, these were purchased from Michelle Bendy Stitchy when she did her auction a couple of weeks ago. She was auctioning off different things for the Bags Plus store on Etsy. And so I got some Bendy flips. I got 3 of them. So if you can see, those have 12 pockets that you can put your floss down in. So you basically take your floss on your bobbins, or even, I think you can probably put it in here even if it's not on a bobbin, and you just slide it down into those pockets. And then on the back, there's one big pocket that you can put things down into. So if you have some free floss, or, you know, your tools or whatever, if you want to put those in there. So I got 3 of these, because even though I have bags, smaller bags that I put in my project bags, I don't have enough to put it in every single project bag. So I figure between the bags and the Bendy flips, I can make it work. So I got this one. It's super cute. It's got little sheeps on it. You guys know I love sheep. And then I got a Christmas one, which looks like this, which I thought was really pretty. I love like the lime green. I'm a very traditional Christmas person usually, but I loved that pop of lime green in those traditional colors with the stockings. And then the last one that I got are some flamingos. So for those of you that don't know, my kitchen is done in flamingos. And so that's what the flamingos look like. And Michelle wrote a lovely little hand printed note and had it stuck down in here. So thank you, Michelle. And they all have exactly the same front on them. So, loving these. I haven't gotten a chance to use them yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm still going to love them. So, I'm going to put those down in. They'll probably be split up between some of the projects I have going now. Because like Texas, I think I only have 3 or 4 colors for Texas. So, one of these will probably get used for Texas. And then I can take that bag and put it in something else. So, I got those. I did purchase those. I did make a Dollar Tree trip, as I said before, and I found these great clamps. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to use them for, but I feel like I should have them. And so I did find those at the Dollar Tree, and there are 6 in this package. I feel like if nothing else, I can use them to clamp my diamond paintings to my board, or I can use it to clamp some of my projects onto a board if I ever, you know, get fancy like that. I can do that. I did get some floss that I ordered. This was a re-dye from Dying for Cross Stitch. Is that what it is? Yeah, Dying for Cross Stitch. So Miss Kathy, I think that's her name. I'm pretty sure that's her name. This is called Unicorn. You guys, is that just not absolutely gorgeous? So I got this with the intention of making a Christmas present with it. So I won't say much more than that. But I absolutely love this thread. This is a 50-yard skein, and it is cotton. But Dying for Cross Stitch, she's on Facebook, and she does her regular Sundays where she makes things throughout the week, and then she sells them on Sunday. And she decided to start doing some re-dyes of the things that she had already dyed that month. She's going to do a re-dye the next month, so that if you miss out on getting it the first time, you can get it during the re-dye. So I thought that was very smart. That way you can put an order in. She knows how much she needs to make of each thing. She's got certain minimum limits set, which I also think is very smart. And so she's got another one that's coming up in June, and it's a ombre black to charcoal, and I need it. I'm gonna get it. So I'm just waiting on that to come out. Now I went to Joannes because they had Rit Dye on sale last week. So I got myself some white 32 count linen that I'm going to use for dyeing some fabric. And I got myself some white 22 count Aida, some white 18 count Aida, which is still by far my favorite. So those are going to be fabrics that I use for dyeing. Put them back over here. And then, while I was with my friend Brandi this past weekend, we made some little, I don't want to call them floss minders because floss minders are probably used, honestly. Basically, what I wanted is I wanted something that I could set down. You know when you pull a strand, you know, you pull off your skein of yarn or a floss and you cut it and you pull out one string to use. And you've got those other 5 strings and they're just kind of a ball and they just kind of sit on your desk. I wanted something that would hold them in place that I could then fold up and put in the bag with the rest of it so that I didn't have to keep losing that and then using more floss. I was wasting a lot of floss. So I bought some batting from Fat Quarter Shop. They had some squares, some batting squares, and I went and bought some fabric quarters at Joannes. And Brandi, my friend Brandi, and I sat down and we made up these. So it's batting, it's got a backing on it, and basically you put your floss on here, and then when you put it in your bag, you can fold it in half. I'll probably go in at some point and put a button or something on, but for right now, I'm just going to fold it in half, and then you can keep your skein, or you can keep your little pieces of floss on here, and it keeps them from moving around. This is not my idea. I've seen it. I just recreated what I thought that they had done, and this seems to work. So this batting does hold. So I did buffalo plaid. We got 3 of those out of the quarter, the fat quarter. We did this super cute watermelon fabric, and then we did this really cute turquoise and silver tartan. And these are tartans, not plaids, you guys. Soapbox. Anyway, so I have 10 of these. Brandi did a great job. She cut the fabric. She's a much more experienced sewer than I am. So she cut the fabric, showed me how to fold the corners and do the pinning, and then she sewed those around for me. So it took us a couple hours to get 10 of them done. I'm super happy with them. I'll have enough to put in all of my projects and send a couple to some stitchy friends. So that was another project that we did this week. And now Oh yes, one more thing that I found. At Dollar Tree, I was kind of shocked, but I found chalkboard paint. It's just black chalkboard paint. It was the only one they had, otherwise I'd have got more than one. It was $1. And so I went ahead and grabbed that up because I figure I can use it for something, right? You can always use some chalkboard paint. But I went ahead and grabbed that. And then let's talk about all of the other things, which is mostly the patterns that we got. So most of these are from resale groups. So my resale groups, everything like that will all be listed and linked below. The first one that I got from a resale group is the Lizzie Kate Grateful, Thankful, Blessed pattern. Now, I more than likely will change the colors on this because even though I like the like turquoise in here with these, I want these to be more fall-like colors. I feel like they're a little too light for me. So those will probably get changed a little bit at least. The next thing that I got are pattern 5, 8, 7, 6, and 3 of the Cottage Needleworks Glitter House. So pattern 5 is the church, which is adorable, by the way. This one is a house. Sorry guys, I'm trying to get you a good angle to where it doesn't just get completely blown out by this light. May not have been the best choice. That is a turquoise house with a tree beside it. That one was number 7. This one is number 6 in the series. And this one is number 3 in the series. So, I got that series there. And I just pulled out the front papers on those instead of opening them up each one. I probably should have done that for everything. This next one that I got, I purchased from Fat Quarter Shop. And it is the Cottage Needleworks Snow Village banner. So in that series, this is the one that goes in the center if you do it the way that it is charted. So the Snow Village banner. This one is Cottage Needleworks Christmas Cheer, and it came from a resale group as well. I just thought it was really cute with the little elves on it. So that's going to be part of my Jolly July stitching. A lot of these, all the Christmas ones are for Jolly July. I have been purchasing for that specifically to make sure that I had stuff to stitch on. And then after that, I'll probably start buying some Halloween patterns and some Thanksgiving patterns. So the next one that I got is a Little House Needleworks. It's part of their Farmhouse Christmas series, and it's the Little Red Barn. And I saw this one and absolutely knew that I had to have it. So I think this is number 1 in the series, if I'm remembering. Yeah, part 1 of a 9-part snowy series. So I wanted that one the first time I saw it, and I saw it on one of the D-Stash groups, and I snapped it up really quickly. I love that. So we're going to do that. I don't know that I'll do this whole series, but I definitely wanted to at least do this one. The next one that I got is Joy, and this is a Cottage Needleworks. I'm not going to take it out of the package because it'll crinkle a lot. So it is Joy. It's the one that I had that fabric for earlier, if you've stuck around this long. So, and I think I'm going to do this one in more of a, instead of this dark green here, I may do this one in turquoise and lime and red and kind of make it a little bit more fun and kind of modern-y vintage, if you know what I'm talking about. You guys have seen that stuff at like Michael's and things like that at Christmas time where they use a lot of turquoise and reds and the bright greens and things. You know what I mean. The next thing I got was Kimberly's Snow Village DMC thread pack. And so of course this came from Fat Quarter Shop. So it's just a thread pack. You've got 5 or 6 whites, all the colors that you need to be able to do Snow Village. So I figured it would be easier just to go ahead and get the floss pack instead of waiting. So I've got all the floss for that. So those patterns will get put in their respective, either into the binder or into their pattern bags probably tomorrow. But then I'll know kind of where I stand, what kind of floss I need to get, all of that kind of stuff. So that is the haul for this week. I have some more stuff. Like I said, I did get a couple of packages over the weekend that got delivered to work. And so I will need to bring those home. So you'll see those next week. And I'm trying to think if I missed out on anything. I don't think I did, you guys. This video ended up being a little bit longer than I thought. I will say I've struggled this week with everything going on. I needed some quiet time to get into or out of my own head, whichever way you want to say that. I just needed some quiet time. I needed to step away from social media for a little bit and take a little bit of a break. I think that's all I have. I'm going to go stitch for a little bit, at least for an hour, hopefully, and try to get some stitches in on my letters from Hogwarts. And until I see you guys next time, please remember that if you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up so that I know how I'm doing. If you liked me and this is your first time finding me, please hit that subscribe button. And if you do hit that subscribe button, don't forget to ring that cowbell, because everybody needs more cowbell in their lives. And until I see you guys next time, remember to craft like somebody left the barn door open. Bye, guys.